Hello, whiskey wise guys and gals. Welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm your host, Mark, and this is whiskey review number 137, 38. Oops. Oh, shoot, I forget. Anyway, that'll be written in the comments there, okay? Anyway, we're going back to Scotland today. We had spent a little bit of time in France, which was a wonderful tour, wonderful taste tour of a Calvados and also of a Cognac. And both of those were just above and beyond wonderful, amazing experiences and excellent value, excellent spirits in their own right. Anyway, here we are with Bunnahabhain. It's got a very long name and it looks like it's unpronounceable, but it's Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain. So Bunnahabhain, this is an Islay distillery. It's on the Isle of Islay, which are known for their smoky style, their peaty style. However, Bunnahabhain is known, at least some of them, for being rather light in the smokiness. So let's get that poured right away. This is Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. It's 46.3% ABV. And thanks to the fairly new owners who are Burn Stewart, who in turn are owned by Distell. It is unchill filtered. It's also natural in color. And again, bottled at 46.3% ABV. So you're getting quite a lot more cask strength whiskey in this bottle than the big brands that bottle at 40 or 43 even. Let's get it poured. Oh, what a sound that makes. I think they did that on purpose. I think we're gonna go. Should we go all the way? I think we should. I shouldn't go all the way. That's too much. This is my third in a row. I just did the Calvados and also a Cognac. So the third tonight is this Bunnahabhain. So. Oh yes. Very mild in peat. Very interesting though. Very nutty. Interesting. It's been a long time since I've had Bunnahabhain. Roughly about 2 years in fact. So let's get on to this one. I mentioned Burn Stewart. They also own Deanston Distillery and Tobermory. And again, my long-term subscribers will know about my love of Tobermory. Deanston, also very interesting Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, owned by Distell. Now, as you're watching some of the photos, I should just call out a few of the credits: whiskeyledger.com, AfroSip, 100proof.be, Lens Talk, that's the warehouse, and the distillery with the barrels from The Real Dram. Okay, now price-wise, very reasonable price. In Canada, in Manitoba, $71.75 Canadian for the 12-year-old. And on a very popular site in the UK, it's £30, 79p. And again, given the fact that it is 46.3% ABV, you are really getting very good value. This is less expensive than a couple of the 10 and 12-year-olds, round about the same price of a couple of the big branded 12-year-olds. So if you do the math, you're really getting a lot more here. Okay, anyway, so we'll have a quick chat about Bunnahabhain Distillery. Then we'll get into the nosing, the tasting, we'll talk about the finish, and all that other stuff, okay? So it was founded in 1881 near Port Askeg by William Robertson and James and William Greenless, who are brothers. After the distillery opened, a village formed for the people that worked there, and the village became known as Bunnahabhain. In Gaelic, Bunnahabhain means mouth of the river. Now, the pronunciation, by the way, If you look at some of the international phonetic symbols, it looks like Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain. So more of a P than a B. Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain. Anyway, so I'd love to hear a true Scot, a true, what can I call a person from Islay? I forget. Oh, it's gone. Shoot. Anyway, if you're from Islay, can you please tell me how to say this? Anyway, mouth of the river, referencing the Margadale River or spring, from whose waters the whiskey is distilled. It closed and reopened a little bit in the 20th century, likely from wartime and some whiskey kind of, let's say, oversupply period. I forget the name of that period. 2 times, in fact. And then 1999, way up to 1999, Edrington bought the distillery. Edrington, Scotland, not Korea. Anyway, and they only opened it a few weeks out of the year and only released very few single malts. 2003, they sold it to Burns Stewart Distillers for a paltry sum of about £10 million. It's probably worth 5-6 times that amount by now, maybe 8, maybe 10, probably 10, given that it's Islay. And sold to Burns Stewart Distilleries. They put out about 2.5 million liters of pure alcohol per year, 21,000 casks, which are kept and matured for single malt production, and also for black bottle, which is the I guess the blended Scotch whiskey into which Bunnahabhain goes. Anyway, all right, let's get on to the nosing now. And before we do that, oh, I should mention the master distiller. I've got a picture of him there. That's Ian McMillan, Mr. Ian McMillan. Apparently, he's been in the industry a very, very long time. I would sure love to meet that man. Okay, so on to the nosing. We'll have a very short advertisement right here. Welcome back. Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, 46.3 ABV. Whoops. Color-wise, again, you're looking at a very deep copper. And that's natural and it's 12 years old. What gives? I think there must be some sherry casks at play here. Fruit and nut I get on the nose. And there's a cloying, kind of behind the scenes little bit of peat going on there. Not very much though. It's well hidden. That gives it a bit of a licorice type of flavor. Again, back to licorice, aren't I? Licorice spice, allspice. Cardamom, clove, nuts, roasted hazelnuts, Brazil nuts. That dark fruitiness here. And we're talking really, really well cooked prunes. Yeah, a little bit of vina tarta, which are made from prunes. But if you ever made vina tarta and you have the bowl of the paste, the prune paste, that's what I get here. Some really dark molasses as well. Okay, on to the taste. Cheers, everybody. Nutty, fruity, dry, sherry influence. Oh, what are those? Not just figs. Dried cooked papaya. Oh, this is to die for. Beautiful amount of peat here. Very licoricey. This is very similar to a particular Highland whiskey that I quite like of late. If you go back in the history, you'll find it. Oh, very much like it. The longer you keep it in your mouth, the drier it gets. And yet also sweet and nutty. Sweet and nutty. Finish-wise, dry and sweet, nutty, walnuts, toasted walnuts. And try this. Try toasting your walnuts with equal parts soy and maple syrup or a bit of brown sugar. Maple syrup would be better though. Oh yeah. Why have I not bought a bottle of this? It's got this rich nuttiness. And yet the prunes, Brazil nuts, those toasted walnuts in soy and maple syrup, papaya, a dash of coconuts coming through in the finish too. Not just coconuts, but also the coconut shell. That earthy kind of drying, musty, delicate, woody sort of smell that shell gives off. And then just enough peat that the person who really loves peat can say, oh yeah, there it is. It's not overpowering. People who do not like smoky, peaty whiskeys can drink this one and enjoy it because they won't even notice it. It's probably like 5 ppm, 5, maybe 10, or maybe just a portion of the malt is peated and then the rest is unpeated, or it's all unpeated but the water happens to be very peaty because it goes through peat bogs as it gets it to its source. All right. Ooh. Let's add a bit of water now. I didn't do that yet, did I? I'm going to put in a little more. One of the fun things about adding water to unchill filtered whiskey is to see how the look of the whiskey changes. And it's still mixing through, and you probably can't see it, but I can start to see a little bit of cloudiness developing, which is often called Scottish mist, or maybe Islay mist in this case. Yeah, just ever so slightly. Much sweeter now, much fruitier. Not as much nut influence. A little bit dry. Some dark sugar. Molasses there too. And the prunes are still there as well. On to the palate. We'll have a very short word from the YouTube sponsors right here. Welcome back. Onto the palate. This is Bunnahabhain, 12-year-old, with just a little bit of water added. That really brings out the sherry wood. There's clearly lots of European wood in here. Not a lot of American. In fact, it may be entirely European oak matured, sherry matured. The minimum would be about 3/4. Very juicy, very syrupy. these condensed fruit syrups. A little bit of strawberry in the finish here too. Oh. Wild strawberries. The ones that you almost can't even take them home because they get so soft so quickly when they get ripe. A little bit of grain toast as well. So a nice dark grain toast, rye, maybe some sunflower seeds, some flax, all flecked in there, butter, and some sort of a fresh French strawberry jam. Gorgeous. You know, oh, I have to say this. This is 12 years old. And this will go head to head with some 18-year-olds I've had recently. In fact, I would probably even put this above a particular 18-year-old that I haven't quite reviewed just yet. It's coming soon. Holy crap. Are you kidding me? Goodness sakes. Now they've got a sailor managing the bridge there. I don't really get a lot of maritime. There's a hint of saltiness, but really not that much. A very, very long finish for 12 years old. Oh. This is just incredible. Well, this is probably one of the best whiskeys that I've had this year, and I've had quite a lot. In fact, by my count, I've had well over 100. So, the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Bunnahabhain 12-year-old is going to be 93 out of 100. 93 out of 100. That's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, 46.3, unchill filtered, all natural color. Incredible. The nickname for this one, this is going to be the Tropical Nut and Fruit Paradise. Paradise on a tropical island full of tropical nuts and fruits. Gorgeous. Beautiful whiskey. Very underrated. This whiskey needs to be promoted up the yin-yang. Or maybe not, so that it can remain as good as it is, as I can barely speak now. Okay, one final little taste. Oh, yes. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Right over here, there's a little circle there. Click on it if you haven't subscribed yet. And for the current subscribers, don't forget about Facebook. Facebook page is WhiskyWhistle. Have a look at that. Instagram, WhiskyWhistle. I post some unusual photos once in a while. Twitter, WhiskyWhistle. That's probably where I spend the most amount of time of late. And if you're on Twitter and you'd like to talk about whiskey, then just send me a message. or just tweet me at WhiskyWhistle, and I'll hear it probably within the hour, probably within half an hour, sometimes even within 15 minutes, depending on the time of day. Okay? All right, so that's it for Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you